Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. Today, we're going to be talking about the health benefits of a daily self-care routine that go beyond skin deep. I was a guest speaker at a female entrepreneur event a few weeks ago from the time of recording this in June 2024. And most of these women were mothers. When I got up on stage, the first question I asked the audience was, how many people felt like their skincare routine was another thing they had to do on their to-do list? But 80% of the room raised their hand. Then I asked how many looked at their skincare routine as an act of self-love, and probably 5 people raised their hand. And then, finally, I asked how many people prioritize their self-care every day, and no one put up their hand.
Ooh. Crazy.
So, this experience inspired this conversation with you today. Our hope is that after listening to today's episode, you might view your skincare and self-care ritual as a way to love and nurture yourself, as opposed to another to-do list item that you don't really want to do.
That's a good one. Okay. Should we start with the questions?
There's so many questions about this topic.
So let's get started then. I think this is a very good topic. It's probably a very poignant one for a lot of the women out there. So let's start with this then. Why do you think that so many women, especially, prime example was that conference you went to, and especially mothers, seem to avoid committing to a self-care routine?
I think the short answer to that is that women don't, or especially mothers. I'm going to say mothers because I think before motherhood, we actually are quite different. But we often don't value our well-being nearly enough. Once we have children, all of us is dependent on them. If they sleep, if they eat, if they're on schedule, if they're sick, if all those things are good, then we can maybe make time for ourselves. But for some reason or other, our self-care is so low on our priority list that it often doesn't even make it to the weekly routines. So I think that's the short answer. We're just not a priority. It's not important enough, or we don't have the time, or just there's always an excuse for why it's not our daily habit. And through my extensive experience in the skincare and wellness industry now and countless conversations with women, particularly mothers, I've been really struck by how many struggle to find even just 15 minutes in their day for activities that rejuvenate them and bring them joy, that don't involve their children or their families.
That's true. Okay. So then, before we get into the hows and the deepness of getting into ritual, let's start by figuring out what it means to have self-care. So what is your definition of self-care?
So to me, self-care refers to the intentional actions and practices that individuals undertake to prioritize their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It is an act of self-love to make time for oneself, and it involves activities and habits that promote health, reduce stress, and enhance the overall quality of your life. So, contrary to popular belief, self-care can take various forms, and it's highly personal. So, for me, self-care could be a hike, it could be yoga, it could be my skincare routine, a bath in the middle of the day. For someone like you, self-care could be a 30K run in the morning on a Sunday morning.
I love that.
Plunge.
Self-care, you care, me care, whatever you would call it. It's great when you're out in the road for 30K. Yes, ma'am.
There's no specific way to do self-care. And I think that's the big misconception is that people think when they hear the term self-care, they're like, oh, well, I can't go to the spa. I don't have $500. I don't have all day. And then they just cancel it out completely. But today, I really want to change that perception of what self-care is and make it more about you. What do you enjoy? What lights you up? And then do that every day, a little bit every day.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
But, Peter, before you go on, I'm actually curious from a male perspective, what does self-care mean to you? That's my definition. And it's a big buzzword. So I'm curious from your perspective, what's your male take on self-care?
Well, for us, we just eat a lot of meat and pound a lot of desks, shout, and flex in the mirror. That's all we need to do. Self-care is a buzzword for sure. I don't have a word for it. We do things to make us feel better. I don't think we have to call it a specific word. But here's the gist of it. I think everyone has a reservoir, right? We all have a container that has energy, some sort of energy, spiritual power, whatever you want to call it, that makes us feel good, right? When you run out of that reservoir, you don't feel good. You don't have the energy to keep going. So you need to do things that refill that reservoir. And it could be various things like, in a combination of things. You have to eat well, sleep well. You have to do things that you enjoy, that give you vitality and love for life. It can be anything. I like to train and run and do physically demanding things, right? And I think a lot of men will agree with me because all men are just like me. We're men. We're very simple, right? We like to eat meat, drink beer, although I don't drink beer.
You don't like meat. You like noodles.
All Asian men like noodles. Dim sum. Dumplings. We're very simple beings, right? We're very similar. But there's one thing that I do know because I'm a man is that many men don't ask for help, right? So men, we need to do a few things I think that will help in the long run and with relationships, ourselves, refill that reservoir, be good to our kids, is we need to learn how to foster relationships. Don't make it an afterthought, but make it a core piece of who we are and how we live life. Because at the end, we're very, human beings are very social creatures. We need to figure out how to make real, meaningful connections and keep that connection, right? I know, a lot of women, like especially my wife, they're good at figuring out how to reach out and how to network and how to, keep touch with each other without being overbearing or, negative emotion. Men have a very tough time to do that. So we just kind of withdraw to ourselves.
Why?
Because it's easier.
Why is that so hard for men? I'm curious about this.
I don't know. I think it's just easier. I think when you open up, you reveal some weaknesses that as men, you're not allowed to show weakness, right? Like what lion in the jungle shows the other lion, hey, I'm weak. Come soothe my feelings, Mr. Male Lion, he was coming here to take my territory. It doesn't work that way, right?
Well, yeah, I guess not.
Right? We have to show a big wild mane and big muscles and say, don't come in here. I will destroy you. That's what males do. So,
but is it what they do or what they were raised to do? Like it's what this is how you were told that you have to be as a man.
I don't know about that.
I feel like, well, let me just hear me out. I feel like it's, as a human being,
yeah,
it is natural to have emotion. The emotion other than angry and happy.
Yeah.
So the emotion of sadness or anxious or there's so many emotions, but as boys, with you guys, I feel like you're taught to ignore those or man up for those other emotions. And it's not like they go away. They just go somewhere and they sit there. And then when certain situations happen, you don't really know how to handle them. Like it comes out as angry or it comes out of uncomfortable avoidance.
Well, I think there's part in truth to everything that you say, but there's also the fact that we're just animals, right? Like, the male lions will always fight for territory. It's just the fact of animal, and we're still animals.
And that's okay. I don't think that is who you are. That as part of being male, that is part of what you are. But I feel like there's so much more to you guys, and you don't like to show it. It's a shame.
Well, we just have a different language, right?
Perhaps.
We don't show love by outwardly showering people with emotion, but there's other ways of showing it. So you just got to speak the male language. That's all.
But we need to understand
You need to
first.
understand the male
that's
language.
Why we're here.
That's why grunting is necessary. Do you understand what I just said? There you go. You gotta listen. You gotta understand how to translate those grunting into words.
Oh man.
Okay.
We need a whole podcast episode for that.
All right. So, in your opinion, Andrea, what is the hardest part about committing to a self-care routine then?
I think the hardest part, to be honest, in my view, is getting started and just sticking to it. Because we often don't see it as important. It's not a priority. It's a negotiable item that often gets pushed down to the bottom of the list. So when you finally have a moment to do something for yourself, you're either too tired, or it's too late, or it's only 10 minutes, so I'll do it tomorrow. Or you just forget about it and it doesn't happen. So my recommendation is to plan the time ahead of time. So kind of like how you and I talk at the beginning of the week, or even month, and we say, Saturday is my day in the morning, and you got the kids. And whatever I want to do that Saturday morning for those 2 hours is up to me. It's non-negotiable, and I know that you're going to get the kids. You're not going to be waiting for me to wake up. The kids aren't going to come bother me because
I don't like it.
Them.
I don't like it, I'll tell you that.
I know. But it's non-negotiable for me. It's in our calendar, and just setting boundaries around it. Don't negotiate that time. It's yours, and take it and keep it and own it, and work together with your partner, with your kids even, to ensure that time is protected. And then I guess if you're not sure where to start or how to spend that time, I get a lot of questions about that. I don't even know. I've had women say to me, I don't even know what I like anymore. I don't know what to do in that time. So my suggestion there is to make a list of all the things that you think you might enjoy. And it could be like taking a bath, meditate, read a book, take a nap, do a facial, go for a walk. It could be anything, but you decide what might be joyful in that time. And each day, try one thing. So block out the 10 minutes. Start with something small, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, block it out, and choose something from your list. And at the beginning, when you're getting more comfortable in this routine, I would suggest that you pay attention to how you're feeling going into the activity. How are you feeling during the activity and afterwards? So if you feel there's resistance, like, I don't really feel like going for a walk, then maybe the walk is not the self-care thing for you. And then just do more of what lights you up and continue to observe. How do you feel afterwards? How do you approach tasks that you engage in after your self-care time? How do you show up for those you love? Like when Peter goes for a run, I know without a shadow of a doubt when he comes home, we're going to get like Cloud 9 Peter for at least 5 hours. And so it's worth it for me to put up with that time where I'm with the kids and to have him go out, because I know when he comes back, he's going to show up like an amazing husband and father, and I'm all for that.
The flip side is if I don't get to run, I'm a negative Clyde 9. Run, give me run.
And then we all run away anyway.
Give me run now. Okay.
So I think the most important thing to remember is really to just make a commitment to yourself and to stick to it and to not negotiate it with anybody. So if it puts other people out, then they can do it. That's the issue. But having a conversation with your partner and asking them for support, not permission, and then working together on what works for you and your family I think those are the most important things.
Good advice. Now, the next question is going to, I think, put a lot of people in a flipsy or in a little bit of like, what's going on here? You talk about prioritizing yourself above everyone else for the sake of everyone else. Why do you think it's important for women, especially to prioritize themselves first before even their children? Now, is that even possible? Speak to that, because that's going to be a very controversial topic.
It is. And that's why I want to talk about it today, because I think it's important. Because you are undoubtedly setting an example for your children, what are you teaching them? That being a woman is hard, and a role where you must give in spite of yourself, in spite of what you want, in spite of what brings you joy. You have to give that up because you have to take care of a family and a partner and a life. Or that prioritizing yourself is a healthy and essential part of your well-being and happiness. That it is okay to take time out to rest and do things you love, even if you are a busy parent and have a growing business or career. So by prioritizing your own well-being and self-care, you are setting a powerful example for your children and empowering them to then do the same as they grow. So when a woman is happy, like Peter, you can speak to this. When I'm happy and I'm thriving and I'm feeling well, our whole family is better.
Sure. Food tastes way better.
But then, and there's actual research supporting this. When the woman is thriving, the entire house thrives with her. So it's the energy that we bring to the family. When you come in the house and I'm in a bad mood, right away the mood switches, and all of a sudden you're in a bad mood too. All of a sudden the kids are annoying. So the more I prioritize myself and my well-being, the happier and healthier we all are as a team. So
nice.
By loving yourself more, you're giving your children permission to do the same. And to me, that is the most powerful gift you can ever give them, simply by committing to loving yourself first, each and every day.
All right. Well, that's a great segue then. Now we're going to go into the area that was near and dear to our hearts, skincare. Can you explain how maintaining a daily skincare routine goes beyond just the observable benefits of having gorgeous skin? So what are some of the other benefits of maintaining a regular skincare routine that one might experience?
Well, we often actually downplay the significance of skin-to-skin contact when we think about
it's true.
How we can better take care of ourselves. So we don't think of skincare as self-care. And that's something that I'm trying to change. So skincare encompasses self-nurturing, but it's something we don't associate with self-care somehow. Introducing self-care routines that involve touch, like skincare routines, a facial massage, like the gua sha, it can profoundly influence our mental, physical well-being. And these moments of self-connection and self-care can provide an opportunity to slow down, stay in the present moment, and foster a deeper sense of self-love and acceptance. So among the many benefits of daily self-care practice as a whole, through physical touch, specifically, we release oxytocin, we strengthen connections with ourselves and others, we alleviate stress, and support emotional regulation just by touching a face, basically, by doing our skincare routine. So research has shown that these moments of nurturing contact play a crucial role in promoting mental health, healing from trauma, and enhancing resilience. So if that's not enough for you, even beyond that, there's an even deeper significance, and that's consistently caring for your skin is a daily reminder that you matter and that your well-being is worthy of your time and attention.
So then how important, in your opinion, is to take a more holistic approach to skincare? How does integrating practices like mindfulness, nutrition, and exercise enhance the effectiveness of skincare routines overall?
I actually think there is no other way. It's the only approach to glowing skin. So if you want the gorgeous skin, then my advice is to attack it from a holistic perspective. You can use the most expensive skincare in the world. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on facials and other treatments. But if you're not consistently sleeping well, drinking enough water, exercising, eating gut-healing foods, and managing your stress, your skin will never be in its optimal state. And this is why we're talking today about self-care and skincare as a unit. Self-care is skincare, and skincare is self-care. They go hand in hand, to me, as part of a bigger package.
Where does eating burnt meat come into play? Meat
I guess
now.
it depends where you live and what protein sources you have
Burn
available.
meat now. Can you share a little bit about your personal skincare routine and how it has impacted your mental, physical, and emotional health?
So skincare for me started probably when I was a young teenager, when I started really caring about how I looked. And so it was really more a physical thing for me initially. I wasn't overly comfortable in my own skin. I was young and I had a lot of insecurities as a teenager. But I was always very health conscious and I cared a great deal about my health and well-being. But again, not because I cared about the internal benefits. It was more that, when I exercised, my body looked good in clothes. When I took care of my skin, I didn't break out. So those kinds of things, and that's how it started. But what I didn't expect was how good I was going to feel inside. And I didn't expect that just taking a few minutes, like twice a day, to take care of my skin was going to help me to sleep better. It was going to make me feel more relaxed. It was going to start my morning and end my day in a positive, self-loving way. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that. And because of those internal benefits, it encouraged me to continue to do them.
Very nice.
And then it had the external benefit as well, as in having great skin well into my 40s.
And me, my 50s.
Yeah, exactly. What about you? Like, why did you start taking better care of your skin?
Well, let's see. I mean, as an Asian man, I've always had pretty good skin. It's never been like that inflamed. I've never had real acne issues. So I never had to really...
Lucky.
Yeah. So I never had to really get into it until a little later on in the process. But when I noticed a very big difference in hydration level. Just my dryness of the skin would go away and it felt more healthy and more elastic, like just how a skin should feel. And so that started my journey on using skincare. I never, I didn't even think I could use it once a week, but once you get into it, the routine, then it becomes, and then all of a sudden every day, twice a day. And it's now something I do all the time because it's part of my daily routine. And plus, we're a skincare company, so we test formulations and products all the time. So I'm literally testing every single day, different formulations, different ingredients. And I really enjoy that. Oh, look at my skin. It looks great today. Oh my God, look at those pores. It's starting to shrink. Or I had a spot here. It's gone. How long did that take? So that discovery is kind of interesting. I really enjoyed that. I think, just like you said, health, wellness comes from many things, both inside and outside. And there's nothing wrong with taking joy out of having great looking skin, just like there's nothing wrong with taking joy of having a silent mind and a wholesome heart. But put it all together, I think in the long run, it works out best for all of us. That's really what it comes down to.
I agree.
Okay, then last question before we end this off. what's your advice for beginners, people who don't know or don't know where to start, or they feel icky or very nervous about starting? Oh, I don't deserve a skincare routine, or I don't have time for this. Push, papa. So what advice do you have for them to wanting to start on their self-care journey? Like, how do they get started?
I think, like I said earlier, I would just start, like, make a list of things that you enjoy, and then do that. Carve out the time ahead of time, book it in your calendar, carve it out, and do it. And start small. I think the place where people make mistakes is that they buy a 10-step skincare routine and then do none of it because they're not used to doing a skincare routine.
Yeah, that's true.
So my advice is to start small in whichever way. If you want to start running, don't try to do a 10K the first day you go out. Just run 1 kilometer and do that really well and build on top of that. So it's the same thing with your skincare routine. If you've never done a skincare routine before, start with a cleanser, a serum, and a moisturizer. And do that really well twice a day, every day for a month. And when you get comfortable with that routine, then you can build on that. You can add a vitamin C. You can add an elixir. You can add a toner. You can add another 2 kilometers to your run. But the idea is to get comfortable doing like small things every single day and make it a habit.
So what do you say to the people that say, well, staring at my phone for 2 hours on Instagram brings me joy, or I love playing video games, Call of Duty online for 9 hours a day. That brings me joy.
You sound like Marcus.
Yeah, that's where this question is coming from. What do you say to those people? Those activities bring me joy. Why can't I do those? Is that good for self-care?
You know what I would say? I would say if that brings you joy, then do it. But put a time limit on it. And just like I said, 10 minutes, start with 10 minutes. I would say spend 10 minutes and scroll mindlessly on your phone if that helps you to relax. But just remember that those habits are not good for you. They don't make you healthier.
Yeah.
They don't make you feel good when you're done.
That's it.
And it doesn't inspire you or help you to grow in any way. So when you're looking at self-care, those are sort of the places that I would start. There's no judgment. If you like to play video games, then play it, enjoy it. But just be mindful of how much time you're giving away. Because time is the only thing that we can never get back.
Fair enough.
So I actually wanted to ask you, Peter, if you could choose one thing to say to the women who are listening about self-care, what advice would you give them on how to better take care of themselves and to make themselves more of a priority from your perspective?
I would recommend that they contact us immediately and choose one of our 5-step skincare routines now, and that will make your life a lot better.
Come
in every
on.
way. That end, in seriousness, you reap what you sow, right? And you get what you incent. Things will not happen automatically because you simply wish for it, right? Success is not a lottery ticket. It is simply planning what you want and just going after it every single day. And it doesn't have to happen today. It can happen, days, weeks, months from now. So if you're starting a self-care routine, the one thing that I have to tell you is prioritize that self-care routine. Understand what you want and simply walk toward it step by step. That's it. That's how, I'm just full of little stories and little anachronisms today. That's how a journey of 1,000 steps start. Is just simply start one step at a time and not give up. That's it. It's really simple. Let me digress. It's easy to visualize or understand. It's difficult to do, right? Because things get in the way every single day. I understand when your kids get sick. I understand when your son doesn't want to eat his food. I understand when your daughter starts screaming in your chair for Paw Patrol. I understand that it's tough, that, the life is all about these detours, but it's up to you to bring it back.
Yeah.
That's the tough
The grass is greener where you water it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
water that grass.
Even a little bit. Story from us. We have a lawn that it's the love and hate of my life. It's a great lawn. It's small, but the squirrels dig through it all the time. So we have patches of holes, and it kills me to look at these big squirrel patches and a beautiful grass. Anyway, we seed the grass in the spring, and I water it. Our gardener says to water it every day. So I water it every day. Sometimes even just 5 minutes. Even if I have, I have to go to the washroom, or I have to, in between getting dressed I just go out and water it for 2 or 3 minutes. It makes a difference. I don't have to have a 20-minute watering session. Just 2 or 3 minutes a day, wherever you can get a chance. They all add up.
And you make it joyful. You bring the music outside or your podcast.
Sure, yeah.
And just hang out.
Just make it work, right? Yeah. So, you can say, oh, I don't have time for that. I can get that started. The procrastination is real. But every minute makes a difference, because when they compound, it becomes a lot down the road.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. We hope this episode will inspire you to change the way you view your self-care and skincare ritual, to see them not as a luxury to be done once in a while, as a reward for doing a good job, but instead as a necessary part of your total well-being. Just as we nourish our bodies with healthy food and our minds with knowledge, we must also nourish our skin and our souls with loving touch, care, and intention. By committing each day to nourishing ourselves, we not only significantly enhance our own well-being, but we are also setting a powerful example for our children. Take care, everyone. Chat soon.
Take care, and just remember, please contact us to find out which 5-step works best for you. All right, with that, we're signing off. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.